Well, hello. This is Rene Michelle Floyd, creator, CEO, and owner of Beautiful Hair Products. And they are products that are specially formulated for those who were born with kinky, curly, wavy, beautifully textured hair. Well, today I'm on a rant. And it's a valuable rant for one. I was just perusing on the internet. Sometime I just take time and read different articles and just kind of visit my fellow marketers and just see what's happening out there in the world of my industry. And so I came across this article right here. You see all these highlights, and it's from Nelson.com, and it's a demographic post on a blog taken from February 15th, 2018, which is only 2 years ago. And the title is called Black Impact: Consumer Categories Where African Americans Move Markets. And I'm telling you, I was reading this, and I mean, it was like a light bulb came on or a fire built up in me. So I'm going to share a couple of highlights. I will have the link to this article in the description box below. And but I just want to point out a couple of facts here that the Nelson ratings company did a demographic study on our spending habits when it comes to just being a consumer. So Black people are the biggest consumers there is, and they are waking up. Our non-Black marketers are waking up to what turns us on, what floats our boat, because they, according to what's in this article, says if they don't get it together, they're going to miss out on an enormous amount of money and market share. So let me just read a couple of little tidbits that really stood out with me. I mean, this whole article, I mean, I have it highlighted. I'm telling you. So anyway, the introduction says so it says Black consumers are speaking directly to brands in unprecedented ways and achieving headline making results. Throughout 2017, popular brands witnessed the power of Black Twitter and the brand impact of socially conscious Black consumers. Through social media, Black consumers have brokered a seat at the table and are demanding that brands and marketers speak to them in ways that resonate culturally and experientially if these brands want their business. And with African Americans, now get this, with African Americans spending $1.2 trillion, that's not millions, that's not billions, that's $1.2 trillion annually, brands have a lot to lose, right? So all this protesting, however it got started, but the fact is the Juneteenth is coming up tomorrow, and we are called to buy Black. This is timely, right? So let me go down here. It says mainstream manufacturers across other industries are also seizing the opportunity to create specific products that appeal to diverse consumers. Not so surprisingly, African Americans have cornered the ethnic hair and beauty market, ringing up, listen to this, ringing up $54 million of the $63 million in total industry spend in 2017. Now that's 2017. We're in 2020 now, and I'm sure that number has arisen, right? Oh my goodness. African Americans make up 14% of the U.S. population, but have outsized influence or outsized influence over spending on essential items such as personal soap and bath needs to the tune of $573 million on female or feminine hygiene products, which is $54 million. Now these are black folk spending this amount of money on these items, right? And lots of them are not black owned companies. Okay, I'm going to skip down. Our research, check this out. Oh my God, I'm going somewhere with this. Our research shows that black consumer choices have a, oh my God, have a cool factor, right? We have a cool factor that has created a halo effect, influencing not just consumers of color, but the mainstream as well, said Cheryl Grace, Senior Vice President of U.S. Strategic, I can't even get the words out, U.S. Strategic Community Alliances and Consumer Engagement, Nielsen. These figures show that investment by multinational conglomerates in R&D to develop products and marketing that appeal to diverse consumers is indeed paying off handsomely. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And this here, oh my goodness, this chart. In the ethnic hair and beauty aids department, right, industry, blacks spent $54.4 million in total spend of the $63.5 million in just the ethnic beauty and hair industry. And this is in 2017. Companies should take notice of even the subtle shifts in spending, because black consumer brand loyalty is contingent upon a brand's perception as authentic, culturally relevant, socially conscious, and responsible. Black consumers' brand preferences are increasingly becoming mainstream choices, which illustrates that, now check this out, the investment in connecting with black consumers can often yield sizable general market returns. Oh my goodness. Black consumers account for a disproportionate amount of product sales in a number of fast-moving consumer goods categories. Again, with a $1.2 trillion spending power, African American consumers are an important population for smart brands that want to grow market share and brand preference. I'm going somewhere with this. and brands can't afford, oh my God, can't afford to lose favor or traction with this segment without potential negative impact. Guys, I'm telling you, oh my goodness, the enormous buying potential of Black consumers has put a spotlight on many popular brands' ability to navigate the nuances of culturally relevant and socially conscious marketing. African Americans are more likely than non-Hispanic white peers to interact with brands on social media or to use social networks to support companies and brands, 44% more likely, as the almost nuclear power of social media collides with an increasingly, now check this out, with an increasingly educated, affluent, tech-savvy Black consumer base. There's never been a more critical time for companies to build and sustain deeper, more meaningful connections with Black consumers, not only to grow their relationships, but to protect them. When it comes to African American consumer spend, there are millions, sometimes billions of dollars in revenue at stake, said Andrew McCaskill, Senior Vice President, Global Communications and Multicultural Marketing, Nelson. African Americans, this is my last point, consumers and all diverse consumers want to see themselves authentically represented in marketing, and they want brands to recognize their value to the bottom line. I'm telling you, my blood is boiling. It's excited. It's rebuke, rebucative, whatever that way, if that's a word. You all, we have so much power, but that power, a lot of times we are giving to other people. We have so much power. We don't even know the power that we have. We have power in our spending, in our culture, in our influence. I'm telling you, if we can just get together and support one another, we could have it made. I know that we have a lot of things going on within our lives and our culture, other people, but the change starts with me. The change starts with you. The change starts with them. The change starts with us. So what are you going to do? I am on here because you know me. A lot of people know me already. My company, Beautiful Hair Products, my brand. I've been on the social networks. I've been, selling my products for a lot of years, right? And I have supported Black businesses. A lot of people have supported me. But you see that cabinet behind me? These are my products. That cabinet should be empty. Empty. But you know what a lot of times our problem is that sometimes we turn a side eye. We don't know whether we should trust one another. We say our prices are too high, but yet and still we go out and we buy all these other products, from all these other non-Black people just because of a name and because of the cool factor. And we don't support one another. Well, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to make that change, to make a difference, and start looking, seeking out for your brothers and sisters. We have so much talent, so many gifts, so many things to offer. But if we don't seek out each other and stop turning a side eye to each other, stop judging one another, be patient with one another. Look, I always ask for feedback. And if my products aren't meeting a satisfaction, I go back to the drawing board and I see what I can do to make it better. If I experience something from another Black brother or sister in their business, I will write down my honest review, and hopefully they would take that review. Just like this other company I wrote, we had some dinner, some fish dinner and some barbecue. And it was a couple of things that we didn't like. And I sent them a respectful review, and they thanked me for my honest feedback and said that they will bring these concerns up at their next meeting. I'm telling you, if we can just do that, if we can just stop judging one another and stop criticizing one another, but really, truly, authentically help one another grow, we can have a power that is to be reckoned with. And I just wanted to just share with you, this is a Willie Lynch letter, the original letter that Willie Lynch wrote in 1712. And I got this when they had the Million Man March years ago. I don't know. I think it was 1996. 1996. Yeah, because I had just had my last daughter. 1996. So we're looking at 24, almost 25 years ago. And they had the link for this original speech. And when I read this letter Willie Lynch wrote back in 1712, it got my blood boiling, right? And I want to just read you a little bit of what his plan was, because what he said back then is what's happening to us now in 2020, right? So let me read that, because it was all a plan. And we have, as Black people, we have bought into that plan, right? With some of us ignorantly didn't know. And it's a spirit. It's a spirit. Excuse me, y'all. It's a spirit over our culture a lot of time. Now, I'm making a generalization. There's a lot of little pockets that may differ from what I'm saying, but it's okay. This is my view, okay? So, 1712, Willie Lynch wrote this letter to the gentleman. Let's see, I greet you here on the bank of James River in the year of our Lord, 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentleman of the colony of Virginia. So that's who he was reading this to, his letter. And he says, this is like page 2, I think. In my bag here, he says, I have a foolproof method of controlling your Black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves. My method is simple. Any member of your family or any overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take those differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Now, isn't that something that we go through now? Fear, distrust, and envy. That's what we have for one another. But this was put in place back in 1712. Okay, let me finish on. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take the simple little list of difference and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantation, status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine, coarse hair, or thick, tall, or short. Now you have a list of differences. I shall give you an outline of actions. But before that, check this out. I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. It's more. Oh my good. I'm going to see if I can post this to this link to this letter, the Willie Lynch original letter that Farrakhan, if you all remember the Million Man March, Farrakhan spoke there, and I think they had the link to this letter. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can share that letter with you, or you can Google it and find it yourself online. But anyway, I just wanted to just come in light of Juneteenth, which is tomorrow, June 19th, 2020, to encourage you to really, really, really take a look at, take a look at your life and see if there is some changes that you can make in terms of supporting your Black brothers and sisters. And it's not about racism or it's about preference. Who knows better than us as to what we want, what we need? Who knows better on how to take care of our hair than we do? Who knows better? So I just want to encourage you all to really start looking at those Black seed dollars and start sowing those seeds in our own community. Start being patient, start being honest, stop being judgmental, and start helping one another, start supporting one another. Yes, we have a lot of issues in our culture and in our family. We are a broken people. We are a broken people that have not been taken seriously, that have been used and abused by everybody else. Yes, we use and abuse each other. I'm not saying that. Yes, we do, just like any other race. But I'm talking about our race. Yes, we are broken, and we are the only ones who can fix us up. So let's start rallying around, start grabbing each other's hand, and start empowering one another. Start getting out of debt. Stop being cool and stop wearing everything on your fingers, around your neck. Stop driving a car that you can't afford when you're living in an apartment. Let's stop being the biggest consumers and making everybody else rich. Let's start enriching ourselves. Start sowing the seeds in our own children. Start, teaching our children. My business, yes, I'm a Black owned company. I teach my children. Every one of them have worked in my company. And now I'm working with my 13-year-old son, because one day I want him to be the president of this company. My granddaughter works with me, and so these are the next generations. I want to leave a legacy. I don't ever have a plan to sell out. I want my company to be a Black owned company. Okay, that's why I started it, so that my children can have something that they can own, that they can pass down from one generation to the next, so that they won't have to go knocking on somebody else's door that don't want them there anyway. Put all your gifts and your talents into your own community. Let our dollars stay in our community longer than 15 seconds, or however many seconds that is now, these days. Okay, so my name is Rene Michelle Floyd, CEO, owner, and creator of Beautiful Hair Products. That's www.beautifulhairproducts.com. And I just want to thank you for listening and for giving me your time. All right? Peace. Take care.